Hey everybody, I'm Malcolm Gilvar, Vice President of Sales with Trade Group, and we're going to do part 2 of our promotional product series. And in this section we're going to talk about how do you prepare to effectively use promotional products at your next event or trade show. Let's talk a little bit about what works best at the show. So here's the thing you got to do first. First thing you got to do is you got to determine what your goals and objectives are. You've got to decide what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your promotional items. For example, if you have the percentage of the folks who are going to the show is almost 100% of the people at the show are part of your target audience, then obviously you're going to want probably a lower cost promotional item that you can hand out to a bunch of different people and would be really exciting because it would have your branding on it and you'd get a lot of exposure. Conversely, if you're going to a show where only a very small portion of the target audience is your target, then what you may want to do in that point would be to have a slightly more expensive promotional item that you can hide under the table and hand out to people who are part of your demographic. If you have maybe 50% of the folks at the show, then maybe you want to go with an item that you can hand to everybody, but in fact you know that only 50% of those folks are actually going to be people that you may do business with in the future. But again, determining those goals and objectives is really important. Also, does your product tie in with your goals or theme for an event? For example, let's say you're going to a trade show in Vegas. You may want to give away as your promotional item a deck of cards with your company logo on it. That would make sense from a thematic standpoint. So that's something to think about when you're going to a trade show as well. Also, is this product going to resonate with your target audience? That's a really important thing to think about. If your product is a bunch of guys, you don't want to be handing out perfume. You want to make sure that what you're handing out is going to be something that your target will like and they'll find useful. And we'll talk a lot more about that in the next section of Trade Show Quick Tips. And finally, do you want to give something to everyone or just the customers and qualified prospects? We talked a little bit about that before. The one thing that everybody's got to think about when you're doing these events is this product useful? The products that will get used the most are the ones that you're going to get the most eyeballs on and the people are going to see it. And will it have staying power? Is it something that's going to be long-lasting and that people will use for a long time? And finally, will it be perceived as a gift more than a giveaway? And the reason I mentioned the gifts, guys, gifts really motivate. I want to share a study done about the perception of a gift versus a giveaway. The study shows that people are highly motivated by gifts as opposed to much more likely to take action if it's a gift as opposed to a giveaway. And it has an incredibly favorable impression. I'll give you a couple examples. A gift basket had a favorable impression of 73%. An MP3 player, 70%. Digital picture frame, a 62% favorable impression. Luggage, 61%. Golf shirts, 48%. So these are just some of the things that you can do that will give your customers an incredibly favorable impression of your organization. A recent study showed that how expensive a product is perceived to be will change whether the product is seen as a gift or an advertising specialty item. If an inexpensive logo product is handed out, 66%, for example, a pen, 66% of the people surveyed believe it's a form of advertising. If a logo and printed product is perceived to be expensive, conversely, 60% of respondents considered it to be both a gift and an advertising. So that's really powerful. So in other words, if you're giving an item that's slightly more expensive, people are going to perceive it as a gift. Now they know that you're still using it as a form of advertising, but this perception really changes. Here's another thing that's kind of interesting when you're talking about giveaways and promotional items at trade shows. Do brand names matter? Well, they do. Nearly 60% of respondents in a recent study said that a brand name was very important to them. 39% said it was somewhat important. If you combine this with the fact that high-end items are more likely to be perceived as a gift as opposed to a giveaway, makes them particularly attractive. More and more brands have promotional divisions. For example, if you think of companies like Bose, Cross, the folks who make pens, Mont Blancs, all these high-end brands are now making items for promotional that you can buy at a significantly reduced rate and offer these to your clients, giving you incredible staying power.